I had the time of my week, and I owe it all to North Coast football, or I swear it's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 8 recap of the North Coast Football Fantasy Football League. I am your host, John Clark, and boy, oh boy, were there some happenings this week, including 2 matches that put brother-in-law versus brother-in-law. Oh boy. But before we get into all the head-to-head matches, let's look at the current standings. Not a whole ton of movement, but there was some pretty drastic movement. Things are starting to separate a little bit. The middle of the pack is starting to, some people are rising, some people are falling. So let's look at the current standings here. So Vince and Marsala Maulers and John the Elder with Bones Bombers, they both remain the top 2 spots. That didn't change there. But there, you look at that, these unprecedented times, they're moving up. Maybe they had a pretty good week. Maybe they did. I don't know. We're going to look at it later. I don't know what happened. It's a mystery. And so we're starting to get to where you're going to want to start to see how the playoff picture is going to start looking, right? I know we're just over halfway through, right? Only week 8, going into week 9. But starting to see some separation here. Again, like I've said before, no one's running away with it. But it's starting to become time where you better start catching up if you want to make those playoffs. So, look at that. I'm still rising, much like I predicted a couple weeks ago. And I'm at 500, 4-4. Hooray! All right. So, pretty interesting goings on. All right. Hey, let's take a look at them matches. As always, we're going to start off with the team that had their bye week. So Kurt, with feeling fine, he had no stress this week. No stress on his march back up to to try to get into the playoffs here. So, couple of things of note. Look, I usually do this on Tuesdays before waiver wires have run, before any major trades have been proposed or accepted or whatever. So I know teams don't look exactly the same on Wednesday as they do on Thursdays. Or Tuesdays. Wednesdays to Tuesdays. I know my days of the week. I graduated college. All right. So Kurt's team has changed a little bit. I know he's involved in a trade right now with Josh's wet-ass pips. But let's go see. Let's see how your team performs. So total of 99.92, just a hair under 100 points, which is actually this week is actually really good. The weekly average this week was by far the lowest. The weekly league average was the lowest it's been this season, at just under 95. It was like 94.7 or something like that. So 94.7. Yeah, we'll just call it 95. So the league average of 95, you beat it. Even with some. So Herbert doing Herbert things. Giovanni Bernard being the perfect backup. You couldn't have traded him to me for just a week. You could have leased him to me for a week. I don't begrudge you that. But I was only half kidding when I asked you to trade him to me. So, half kidding there. So Giovanni Bernard being great. Now I know you're involved in a trade to get Joe Mixon. Makes perfect sense, right? I mean, you're set no matter when he comes back. It's not like Giovanni Bernard is going to be gone. He's just going to be moved to your bench, and you've got his, I guess his handcuff, and then it becomes a handcuff again. Melvin Gordon, there's his floor. I mean, all right. But then Amari Cooper and Galladay. Look, again, I say this to all the bye weeks. I know you didn't set up your optimal lineup. You didn't even have to think about it. So if you were in a match, I'm sure Galladay would not have been on your bench. I mean, wouldn't have been in your lineup. He would have been on your bench. But Amari Cooper's 1 point is cause for concern. There is, when you've got, Sanchez Fistwater in there, Amari Cooper's going to suffer, right? I don't know his name. I don't know Dallas's QB's name. The third string. I don't think anyone else does either. He's the nameless one. Anyways, Jonnu Smith at tight end. I think there was some talk that he was actually playing through an injury. I could be wrong on that, but I believe there was something about that. And of course, Fulgham he's looking fantastic. Granted, Philly went against Dallas, but I think week to week he'll be pretty solid for you. All right, going down the line, we've got Matt Ryan. Great stash. Looks like he's Atlanta's kind of they're coming into theirs. Justin Jackson, and then Goddard and Sanders. I believe they are the ones you're trading away, which is nice. You're trading away two guys who are on their bye week away to get a piece. They're not going to be any good to you this coming week, so yeah, involve them in the trade. And then T. Higgins. Your wide receiver core is looking. I mean, you've got options. You're not stuck with Cooper, right? With all the question marks around him. You've got some other pieces you can plug in, which is nice. It's a good spot to be in. And I think with your trade for Mixon, once he's healthy, you got Mixon and Gordon. There you go, man. There you go. It looks like you found a way through waivers and trades to turn things around. We'll just see. We'll see if it was too late. We'll see if they were all in time. You've definitely got a couple weeks ahead of you. But all right, Kurt. Hey, good luck going forward, man. Good luck going forward. The Finns against the wet ass Pips. That's the first heads up match we're looking at. Matt versus Josh. Now, it is probably tragic from Josh's point of view. The last couple of weeks have been a travesty. He's had to deal with a lot of injuries. Christian McCaffrey still on the IR. A lot of things to deal with. Matt and the Finns, on the other hand, has been dealing with a lot of his guys booming all over other people. And this week, they didn't boom quite so much, but it was definitely enough to defeat Josh's team here. So let's take a look and see what happened here. So the Finns scoring just under 94. Again, that was he was about 1 point below what the league average was. Now, Julio getting 20 points is obviously you're happy with that. Keenan Allen getting 17, you're obviously happy with that. Your kicker getting 14. Holy crap. Definitely, I think he definitely beat his projections. So, when you've got those performances, I'm sure you can forgive Josh Allen for a down week, right? I know definitely he's been trending down. It doesn't mean that's going to happen every single week. But Josh Allen with 12.4, yeah. Leonard Fournette, listen. He benefited from a coach who sits people for fumbling. So 8.6 for Leonard Fournette. I think that's going forward best case scenario for him. Ronald Jones sitting down and Leonard Fournette benefiting from that. So, don't fumble. Don't fumble at Tampa Bay or you're done for. So 8.6 there. DeAndre Swift, man, super, super disappointing. I mentioned Julio Jones getting you 20 points. Fantastic. There you go, Julio. All right, Tyler Lockett. He has his super boom games in his I'm really a wide receiver 2 game. Well, here he goes. He's a wide receiver 2. last week, Metcalf, it was swapped, right? So when we take a look at Metcalf, we'll see the difference there. But Lockett, there you go, with 5 points. Waller getting you 5 points. Fine. All right, fine. Now, on your bench, look at Marvin Jones go. There you go. I mean, look, there's a reason I drafted him. I like Marvin Jones. Just this year, he hasn't had any of those games until this week. So, sitting with Marvin Jones. I know Carlos Hyde was a pickup due to the Carson situation, but now it looks like Hyde's hurt. So Dallas, what's his face? It looks like he's a thing. Yeah, the Seattle running backs. But I mean, I don't think you can't drop him, right? You can't drop him. LA's still trying to figure out their running backs. Henry Ruggs going forward, he's had his games. Look, you made the right moves, except obviously, I mean, I don't think anyone would have put Marvin Jones in over any of your other 3 wide receivers. So all your moves were correct, and look, it did. It got you the W, man. That's the important thing. Doesn't matter how you got there, but you got there. Now, moving over to Josh. All right, Josh. Josh, what happened this week? All right. So, hey, Cam Newton didn't completely hose you this week. That's a good thing, right? 18.3. Look, anytime the New England Patriots can lose, right? I'm happy that week. I'm happy that they lost. Not a Patriots fan. I know I'm not alone in this. But at the same time, he didn't hose your team like he has the last couple of weeks. So there you go. With the 18.3 points, take it. Mike Davis has kind of been ho-hum. Now, what's your other option? You can't put McCaffrey in. I think McCaffrey might be coming back this week. And of course, it's the week you're going against me. So that's awesome from my point of view. Look, I don't think you can play McCaffrey even if he's not on IR, right? You just want to make sure he's good. J.K. Dobbins coming for you. I know he was a guy who a lot of people are like, hey, pick him up. He's in a good situation this week. And there you go, 15 points there. Mike Evans with a 14. Mike Evans showed up. We'll see what he does next week. You never know. All right, and Robbie Anderson with 7.3. He got his floor. But yeah, what kind of murdered you this week was the Deontay Johnson. Really, that was unexpected. 1.1 from him. Yeah, and I know kicker defenses. I don't talk about them specifically, but only getting 7 points for the 2 when your opponent got 21 points from their 2. That puts a lot more that you have to make up for from your skill position. So that's never an easy deficit to come back from when you only got a third of the points that your opponent did. So anyway, look, moving forward. Look, I know you made some trades. You're mixing away, trying to get a couple other solid pieces. And we'll see how that works out for you, right? Zach Moss is starting to come up there at Buffalo. So you've got that going for you. McCaffrey's coming back off of IR, probably, most likely. Maybe wait one more week. Chase Edmonds seems to be the guy in Arizona right now. So, things are looking up a little bit. But anyways, all right. Well, hopefully, Josh, you can stop the bleeding, if you will, if you'll go with that metaphor with me, and because you've slipped about as far as you can, and still have hopes to make a run for it at the end here. Now, again, hopefully wait one more week until you start to make that comeback, because I don't want to go against Christian McCaffrey. All right. Anyways, uh, good matchup. Good matchup this week. I know the score isn't close, but there you go. It was kind of a down week overall. All right. Hey, moving on. Next up, we've got a couple games this week were just absolute beatdowns. You know, this matchup, Dan with these unprecedented times against Scott, the hopeful yokel, it wasn't. It got real ugly real quick. Dan brought out the lead pipe. Out of the gate, and the hopeful yokel just couldn't keep up. So, Dan with these unprecedented times was the top scorer for the week. So congratulations on that, sir. Let's take a look at your team. What'd you do here? What'd you do to Scott? What'd you do to him, man? Well, okay. Now, first of all, I want to point out, you can see with the scoring disparity there, right? Okay, so you're dealing with a 45-point difference. Now, once again, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I don't know what kind of crystal ball Dan had, but he played both the Minnesota running backs, and they both performed. This week, both of them got him 51.4 points. Wow. Good move. But look, with both running backs from one team get you 51 some odd points, man, oh man. That team had a good week. And you reap the benefits, sir. You reap the benefits. Look, hey, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that one of them got you 50.6 of those points. They worked together as a unit to get you 51.4 points. And Scott was just left just watching. So was Alexander Madison. But the point is that Dalvin Cook is just stupid. It was... The rest of the team just didn't even need to be on the field. They didn't need to be on the field. I don't know what Kirk Cousins scored, but all the points went to Dalvin Cook. He was a one-man wrecking ball. So when you take a look at that, Aaron Rodgers getting you fantastic 22 points from Aaron Rodgers. And then, hey, Josh Jacobs did a thing. He's 15.8. That's good. That's great. And then skipping down to DK Metcalf. Hey, there's Tyler Lockett's points from I think DK Metcalf was upset about last week. He had something to prove. And he proved it. 37. When your top three scores get you over 100 points. Yeah. Look, at one point, the projections had you at 170. Now, obviously, that didn't happen, but the projections had you. That's how early your top scorers perform. You know what I mean? So, DJ Moore is disappointing. TJ Hawkinson is great with 10 points. That's great. And I was kidding about Alexander Madison doing really well. He 0.8. I don't know if you guys could read through the sarcasm there. All right. Ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous performance all around. And I don't think Scott deserved that kind of beating. I don't think he deserved it. Looking on your bench. Gus Edwards with 14. Baltimore's running backs did okay. Lamar wasn't all selfish this week, getting the 50-yard runner. Let's see. Philip Lindsay. Oh, man, yeah. Philip Lindsay was very impressive in that game. And, yeah, maybe Alexander Madison, maybe he doesn't deserve to have that flexibility. I'm just saying. Will Fuller, even with the rumors that Will Fuller was going to be traded and stuff, he wasn't traded. So there you go. And of course, Jerry Judy's getting you 9. Yeah. So hey, moving on up. Moving on up, right? Third place now. Third place. I don't see any reason outside of some sort of major injury, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't continue doing what you're doing, man. Looking to be a pretty scary lineup. Scary lineup. All right. Flip side over here. So Scott's joined me at the 500 mark. 4-4 now after this week. Look, obviously you were playing catch up the whole time. I know you were hoping the Breeze Camara stack. I mean, you were hoping they would get you at least more than one Dalvin Cook. They weren't able to do that. Myles Gaskin with the 11. I know I think, isn't he having issues now? That sucks. Landry getting that almost TD, the TD overturned. Yeah, he would have had a week if that had happened. I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference, but you would have felt better about playing Landry, right? All right, and Tyreek Hill. I mean, who wasn't expecting Kansas City to do what they did? Doing it, I mean, all through the air. Their running backs did nothing. Everyone was thinking, oh, maybe Le'Veon Bell's going to just let him run all over them, the Jets. No, he did it all through the air because he could. He did what he did. Oh, speaking of, Le'Veon Bell down there getting you 5 points. Look, everyone expected more from all the Kansas City guys. I was expecting more from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And Hayden Hurst getting you the 7. All right. When's Chubb coming back? I don't know. I haven't heard any news. I know you guys, the Browns fans, maybe you know more than I do. But he's still sitting there. And you got your handcuff with Murray there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and a lot of guys. Yeah. All right. And Michael Gallup. Oh, wow. He got 9 points. When Amari Cooper got 1. Yes. Yep. Well, when Brock Beef Broth is sitting there throwing you the ball, you never know who's going to get it. And Gallup, 9.6. All right. Very good. Okay. It wasn't pretty. It's never fun having a week like that. I know. I've been there several times throughout the many pretend football years that we've been playing together. But, all right. I wanted to get this one out of the way because, oh, man. Wow. I just wouldn't stop. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay, so on to the other beatdown of the week. Wasn't nearly as dramatic as the other one. As the previous one. But Jeff's banana slugs against John the Elder's Bones Bombers. Not close. Officially, Jeff has taken back the mantle of unluckiest team from Josh, who took it from Jeff. Josh took it from him last week. I think Jeff has punched Josh in the noggin and taken that mantle back for himself. So let's see what happened to the unluckiest team, the official unluckiest team of the North Coast Fantasy Football League with Jeff. Jeff, unfortunately, had to play Jimmy Garoppolo. And now Jimmy Garoppolo is dead. No, injured. Not after getting you 1.7 points. Gosh, man. First Gardner Minshew, and I love the fact that you were sticking with that guy and playing him. Oh my gosh, dude. I loved it. And then he had to go fracture his hand all up. And then Jimmy G was starting to get some... Now he's done. I think it was a high ankle sprain. Yeah. He's done. All right, so you were forced to play Wayne Gallman. Ended up being a good move for you, 12.7. Daryl Henderson? Okay, all right. Well, there's his 6.3. All right. Again, a little more of that those unfortunate happenings to your team with Daryl Henderson. All right, Marquise Brown is officially because of social media a squeaky wheel, right? So we'll see. We'll see if they give him the oil, right? With what do you have? 2 targets, not just catches, 2 targets. He's supposed to be their wide receiver 1, right? 6.8 with Marquise Brown. Hunter Renfrow. Oh, I love Hunter Renfrow. Man, and he got you 10. You'll take it. I mean, what are you going to not take that? You'll take it. Now here is coming up on the last 2 skill positions you've got. The 2 like silver lining, like the 2 things that you are hoping for. Rob Gronkowski is definitely moving on up. It looks like he's starting to get his football legs back. And Tom Brady and him are reminiscing about the years past, seasons past. They're starting to reconnect again, you know? I imagine they write each other little notes and put them in their lockers so for the other one to find. That's what I imagine. But not only him, but JaMycal Hasty. Looks like he's going to be the guy in San Francisco to have. San Francisco, again, not just Jimmy G, but they are riddled with injury. Riddled with it. Can't keep their running backs on the field. Can't keep anybody on the field. Man, I grabbed Tevin Coleman last week, hoping he would become. Nope. Nah. Wasn't to be. But look, we know that the head coach likes his running backs. He likes to use his running backs. He uses them often, and so hopefully you'll benefit from that right there. Going forward, I know it's been a bit of a roller coaster for you. It's just one of them years, man. One of them years. All right, so moving on down. I love the fact that you're holding on to Gardner Minshew. I don't know what the updates are in terms of his timeline. I know Jimmy G, you can get rid of him. So there's a roster spot for you. We got the gymnastics guy, Naeem Hines, right? Man, what was he in the Olympics or something? Man, he stuck the landing, that's for sure. Getting you 19, so he's been passed around a bit. You grabbed him, and he did a performance where you're like, well, now I got to play this guy. I don't know. He's done it to us before. Just ask Kurt. All right. Michael Thomas, man. Still with him. And then Mark Andrews. So the Gronk, Mark Andrews, look, your tight end spot is handled. With the luck that you've had, and I'm just putting this out there, okay? With the luck that you have, I wouldn't blame you if you double tight ended it. If you did obviously your tight end position, and then you flex the tight end with those 2 tight ends. I believe that would be acceptable. I wouldn't judge you too harshly. I wouldn't make fun of you on the internets. Oh, okay, no, I would make fun of you a little bit, but not as badly as I've made some people feel for double tight ending it. All right, but you've got another guy, Denzel Mims. Gosh, man, your pickups they're so awesome. I love the fact that you're picking up these guys and, just to see. I mean, they are absolute swing for the fences, dart throw, luck of the draw type of pickups. And they're usually not working out, and that's okay. That's okay. You're in a situation you have to swing for fences. There's fences all around you. Just swing at them, right? All right. Denzel Mims. All right, so let's see what Bones did to you here. Man. Weren't you involved in one of the beatdowns last week? I think you were. Probably throughout the season. Look, there's a reason you haven't. I don't think you've fallen below the top three. Maybe you hit fourth at one point, but I think you've been top three overall the whole season. And there's a reason for that. You have the two most I would say solid. They're going to perform week to week. They haven't had any weeks where they crapped your team. In Derrick Henry and Travis Kelce, right? I mean, Kelce might have had a low week, but with tight ends, but he's been consistently high, outperforming his points. Not consistently high scoring. Derrick Henry has been just solid for you, right? All right. Now, so the rest of your team, again, Tyler Boyd doing well for you. Brandon Ayuk, good play. Good. That was a great play this week. I gotta respect that move. Because Nelson Aguilar was not. Yeah. Goosed ya. Josh Kelly. I don't know what happened there. I'm not going to lie, I didn't see that game. But only 3 points from Josh Kelly. All right. Now, you actually played Tannehill over Lamar Jackson. And I applaud you for that move, sir. It was the right move this week. Lamar Jackson on the season, I don't have to tell you, he's been disappointing. Compared to how much you spent for him on the draft, right? So the fact that you're able to swap out and call it correctly, it sucks that's where you're at, but you've got Tannehill and Jackson, good combo. Carson was the latest that he's out another week. I think it was. Definitely keep your eye on that. If he's not back this week, he's close to being back. Of course, you had some guys on bye week, and you snagged Alan Lazard. That could pay off later on. Could pay off later on for you. Get rid of the MVS. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but that way I'm able to make this column a little match the other ones. It's not quite as wide because you don't have MVS on your on your bench, or actually in your lineup anymore. And then you've got a good stash with Kirk and Firkser. I keep messing that up. So hey, look, going forward, you're making the right moves. You're making informed decisions, which benefits everybody. Everybody knows you are a threat. So keep it up, man. I've got no advice for you except you're done good. Keep it up. Keep playing Travis Kelce as your tight end. Keep playing Derrick Henry. Okay, all right, Jeff. I hope you heal from the beating that that John the Elder gave you. You just got to move forward, make the moves, man. I know there's not a lot. Anyway, okay, whatever. Shut up. Just let's move on. Ooh, take a deep breath. Ryan did it. Ryan got another win. Oh, man, look at that. So Ryan in the Black Swan event went up against Steve and Roy. Steve and Roy? Steve, whose team name is Roy. Man. And Ryan did it. Finally. And it was a closer match than obviously the ones that we've been taking a look at. So 10 points. Exactly 10 points, right? That's weird in and of itself, but 10-point difference. Both teams scoring well above the 94 point league average. So it was close. Now, the surprise difference in this game we're going to talk about came down to the selection of defense. And Ryan, look, I don't know if you were playing Miami because, you had some sort of vision or some sort of clairvoyant, view of the future. but playing Miami's defense and then them getting you 23 points? Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. All right. But it worked. It paid off for you. Russell Wilson, hey, 28 points. He's back, baby. He's back. Had a great week for you. James Conner getting you 13. Good. Solid, right? Good. Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what happened there. Was he knocked out? I know. Great analysis, right? I know. I didn't watch that game. But only 4 points from him. Allen Robinson getting you the 17. There you go. Calvin Ridley. I know that was awful. Oh man. Keep an eye on that injury, Keep an eye on that one. Playing Robert Tonyan and him getting you 10. He's been passed around a little bit. And then finally Scott Miller. Again, oh man. He was set to have a game. And unfortunately, he did not. But again, looking at your kicker defense getting you 30 points total, switching over to Roy's kicker defense only getting him 10. Look, again, when you're dumb positions, I don't want to say non-skill, but they're non-skill positions. When they get you triple the score of the other team, when it's a 20-point difference, that's huge, right? Especially considering it was only a 10-point victory. I mean, not only. It was a 10-point victory. And that pair of things gave you 20 points. You can thank them. You can thank them for it. Now, Steven, you might have to send a strongly worded email to the Raiders team and saying, how could the Dolphins get 23 points on you? That might be your only option because, you had a solid week. Mahomes, with that performance, Mahomes is now the number 1 overall quarterback on the season. Look it up. It's only by like 2 or 3 points. Russell Wilson is right behind him. But 40 points from Mr. Mahomes, fantastic. David Montgomery with 11. There you go. I don't. His boom potential is minuscule, but right. Look, the way running backs are dropping right now. Man, 11 points. Take it. Devin Singletary, 9 points. Take it. Cole Beasley, don't settle for 3 points from Cole Beasley. Don't do that. You can do better. And CeeDee Lamb, man. Look, I don't know what to tell you guys with your Dallas wide receivers, man. Stu McGillicuddy is not going to make them perform well at all. I think there was talk of them going to like switching. Maybe I'm thinking of a different team. I don't know who they're going to switch to, but someone equally as unknown. Oh, it's Dallas. Oh, how your fall. I've cherished every second of your fall. Oh, great times. All right. Jared Cook getting you 13. Fantastic, right? Fantastic. And A.J. Brown getting you 10. Solid play from A.J. Brown. Now, looking on your bench. Let's scroll down here a little bit. Let's scroll down. Come on. There we go. Oh, too far. Whoa, back it up. Tom Brady, 19. Mostert's out. Yep. James Robinson. Hey, you and I made some moves this time. I may have given you a little bit much after looking at some trade analyzer things. For those of you who don't know, I traded him Terry McLaurin and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Mr. James Robinson. I'm not going to lie, I was trying to find a good running back who had their bye week behind them, and he was on bye this week obviously, so you couldn't, play him. But that's what I was looking for, and I know I paid for it, and we'll see how it ends up. I just felt bad for your wide receiving core. So, no, it wasn't a feel bad, honestly. Anyway, we'll probably examine that next week's recap because we'll see how the trade panned out for both of us. All right, and Corey Davis getting 25. Wow. And looking at it, gosh, that sucks because that would have made the difference, right? That would have made the difference. But look, you cannot ever expect the Dolphins defense to get 23 points. You can't plan for that. Anyways, all right. So Steve, you've joined me and a couple other teams in the 500 level, right? Unfortunately, you've fallen to the 500, where a bunch of us have gone up to the 500. And then Ryan, hey, you're going into your bye week, right? Hey, that good timing for the bye week. You're coming off a win. You're feeling good. You're getting the bye week. See how things pan out with that. Anyway, all right. So both you guys fighting to stay relevant, right? All right. Very good. Okay. Done with this one. Okay. So here we're taking a look at the first brother-in-law versus brother-in-law match. We had two of them this week. This is the first one. So, John Clark with Fort Castleton versus John the Younger and Nero's Fiddle. Now, listen, there were a couple things that made this matchup in particular. Not only the brothers-in-laws fighting against each other, but there are also a couple things with the teams, some little intricate little moves that made things really interesting. The first was this. Our QBs of choice, both of them were on their bye week at the same time. What are the odds? Second thing is, we both had Minnesota wide receivers who, for all but 1 week leading up to this week's matchup, there was at least a 10-point difference between them. One of them would have a good week and the other one would be like, oh. And so there was that. There was like, oh, which is it going to be? Jefferson? Is it going to be Thielen? Which is it going to be? And of course, the third thing that makes this matchup especially juicy was the fact this was the last John versus John match of the regular season. Now listen, John the Elder has already asserted dominance. He beat both the other Johns. John the Younger and John the Better. Okay? He has asserted dominance. So now, John the Younger and John the Better, we had to go up against each other. And once again, projections were like, oh, it's going to be even. It's going to be like 104 to 105 or 107, whatever. Throw those out the window. I've always said that. But it turns out that John the Better lived up to his moniker. Let's see how this happened. So 111 to 74. Not really close. I'm not going to lie. After Teddy Bridgewater got you all to 12 points, I was like, this is great. Because I had Carson Wentz, who the week before had 30 points and was in the same type of matchup. In a matchup the Eagles were favored by a lot. They went up against Dallas. Oh, Dallas has given up buku points. But once again, Wentz proving why I've said all along he's awful. Terrible. 8.62 points from Carson Wentz. I should have known. I should have just played Kyler Murray. I'd have kept my dignity. What's your dignity worth? It ain't worth 8.6 points, that's for sure. All right, Jamal Williams coming in as the handcuff to Aaron Jones, getting me 15. Great. That's fantastic. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Again, I know I mentioned it before. They went through the air. They threw it. They threw it all over the Jets. Wasn't even pretty. So, thanks, Kansas City, for 4.6 from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Devontae Adams coming out there getting me 26 points. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Devontae Adams, I might have to write him a letter after the season and tell him how happy I am that he was on my fantasy. I know he'll care. He'll care about these things. He cares about Fort Castleton. All right, so Justin Jefferson. So let's unpack this just a little bit. Like I said, with all but one matchup, Thielen, Jefferson, it's always been one or the other. There's been at least a 10-point difference between the two. Now, knowing my opponent. Look, knowing your opponent is very, very important week to week when you're analyzing your matchup, okay? I know I probably spend more time than I should in this pretend football world that we have. Going into this week, Nero's Fiddle and Fort Castleton were the top 2 points total in the league. All right, I was 1, he was 2. And knowing that he can put up points, I had to go with guys that are a little more boom-busty, but also I had to take advantage of matchups. In this case, the matchup, I was betting that Justin Jefferson would get me 10 more points than Thielen, at least 10 more. But that's what I was betting on that part. Now, I was wrong, but luckily I wasn't wrong in the opposite way. I was wrong in that they both sucked because Cook was Cook was good. They didn't need Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen. So I'll take the 0.1 difference between the two. That's fine. Eric Ebron coming through. He got into the end zone, and that's what he's dependent on, right? Just like most of the tight ends for the season. There they are. And then Baston Scat. Baston. Oh, Baston. Hey, you got me more than Zeke, so, whatever. I was hoping for a little more than that, but anyway. All right, so overall, really, really, really happy with my squad. Now, I will also just I know I've talked about defenses more than anything in this recap than any other recap, probably combined. But I did, 2 weeks ago, I picked up the Eagles' defense in preparation for going up against Nero's Fiddle. Again, I was trying to get every edge that I could. This matchup meant a lot, okay? Not just the person, but again, the team I'm going up against. They can put up points. All right. Now, due to circumstances here, so looking at my bench, of course, Kyler was on bye. Aaron Jones was out again. Terry McLaurin was on bye. I picked, again, Tevin Coleman was a lotto ticket, hoping that he would at least perform, and then I could have some confidence going forward. Luckily, I wasn't in a position where I had to play him. So he injured his knee again, so boom, he's gone. And then finally, Robert Woods. Robert, I will never bench you again. I'm not going to do it, man. Unless you get hurt. He's been solid for me. Again, I put in Justin Jefferson because I was hoping for that boom, that difference. But I sat Robert Woods on his best fantasy performance of the... I wanted boom possibility over steady, right? From a wide receiver, that's kind of what you want anyways, that potential. But I will never, you have my word, Robert Woods, I will not bench you again. All right. Looking at John the Younger's team, Nero's Fiddle, It started off on Thursday night with pretty disappointing numbers from Gurley and Bridgewater, getting 22 points from those two, and then really only having one of the your kicker performed as well. He got 14. He was your highest scoring player of the week. I just noticed that. Okay. All right, Zeke getting 7. I don't know how many times I can say I'm sorry about Zeke's performance. I'm glad he didn't get right this week. Hey, next week, let him. Maybe he'll get right next week. Okay, but I'm glad he didn't get right this week. And Kareem Hunt, yeah, only 8 points from Kareem Hunt. So, obviously contributions to the disappointing score there. Harrison Bryant and Stephon Diggs. Well, Diggs got you 12. That's pretty good. All right, look at it. Boy, it wasn't Goff. Goff was something, man. Your little Slack message of when Goff was like -2 or -3 points or something, saying that you were kicking yourself for playing Bridgewater early and not Goff. Well, yeah, okay, it would have gotten you a point, but Goff had an awful game. Awful game. How did Woods get 24 points when Goff? Well, all right. All right, let's see. Deshaun Watson on bye. Hey, next week, the QB spot, Deshaun gets to come back, do his Deshaun things for you. Oh, yeah, and Antonio Brown. Okay, is it this week? Week 9 is coming in, so you're sitting on him for a couple weeks. Fingers crossed, right? Okay. And, okay, yeah, Julian Edelman's done, right? Done. All right. Well, and Fells being on... Okay, now I see why you had to play Bryant. I was wondering why you played him, but yeah, Fells was on his bye week as well. Okay. Well, you've got a roster spot that you can try to fill with somebody. But going forward, getting your guys back off a bye week. Hopefully, some of your guys can get some get right games in your running backs. All right. Anyways, all right. Hey, good game, John. Good game. I'm glad it went the way it did, obviously. So, good luck going forward, man. Good luck. All right, the final matchup that we've got this week. No, I did realize while I'm recording my last segment, right at the very end there, you heard some children. The mic picked up children through a wall. They're playing an intense game of Minecraft right now. Don't worry. They've been handled. Anyways, okay. Last matchup. This is the other one. Brother-in-law versus brother-in-law. Oh. Look, I'm going to be honest. It might just be the same guy playing against himself. I don't know. But I am officially giving Vince the crown of luckiest team. Now, that's not a knock against his team. Please don't hear what I'm not saying. Luck is a huge part of fantasy football. But it seems week in and week out, Vince has some pretty close matches. Even when he only scores 62 points, ends up with the W. He does have the fewest points against, which is, yay. Hey, I can't hold that against him. But you guys got to step it up, right? He might run away with this. He hasn't yet. But Vince and Adam, the 8-bit defenders against Marsala Maulers, less than a point at the end of it. And it was one of those things where it came into the last game of the week. And Vince, Marsala Maulers, they were behind. They had Ronald Jones and Evan Ingram. And Adam had Darius Slayton to try to hold him off. And, obviously you're thinking, it wasn't that big of a difference, right? You're like, oh, he's got Ronald Jones and Evan Ingram, but Ronald Jones, yeah, no problem. And then Jones got benched. Oh, man. Sweating bullets. Down to the last drive of New York. I think it was less than a point, and then Evan Ingram got a reception, and then Darius Slayton got a reception, so it made it even. Oh, man, came down to it. So this was an exciting one, if not a little bit tragic for both players' score totals, right? Let's start with Adam and the 8-bit defenders here. So Joe Burrow, hey, he's doing great. 18.8 points, right? Fantastic. He's proven to be a good fantasy asset, right? Now Adrian Peterson on the flip side of that, 1.7, and I know you had to play James White. You're never excited to play James White because you're not really sure how the Patriots backfield is going to perform. This week was not James White's week, not his week. So AJ Green coming down to 2.9. Man, oh man, AJ, come on, man. Because he showed a little bit of life last week, right? All right. And then Darius Slayton getting you 8. He tried his best. He tried his best to get you the W. The big, oh man, oh crap moment of the week. George Kittle going out. I know he said, oh, I'll be back in 2 weeks. And all the doctors and the head coach were like, it's going to be 8 weeks. So Kittle, yeah, disappointing, right? Disappointing. All right, and Chase Claypool getting you 10. Way to go. All right, Chase. Now, looking at your bench here, yeah, like I said, you were forced into a couple, especially your running backs. You were forced into playing them. Not too happy about it, right? So Kenyon Drake being out, that hurts. That hurts. Definitely hold on to him because he'll be back. But that hurts. And Mark Ingram, that sucks. Godwin, yeah. And of course, Dalton Schultz. Yep. There you go. So I mean, look. Should I make up another name for the for the quarterback? Winston Crispy Feathers? Is that the quarterback? Prove me wrong. All right. Going over to Vince's team. Marcelo Maulers, Baker Mayfield, and I mean the Browns as a whole, huge disappointment, right? None of them were really fantasy relevant, right? Even the ones you expected them to be. So, I mean, the only guy who performed for you was Cooper Kupp. It was one of those weeks where Kupp and Woods, I mean, they both put up points, which was great. Definitely saved your keister on this week. And when it's less than a point, obviously, every little move was huge. Even if the score wasn't a huge score, right? But just compare, you just got to beat the guy that's next to you, right? You don't have to beat everybody in the league. You just got to beat the guy next to you, which you did. So, looking on your bench, obviously there's going to be, this week, QB, you didn't make the right choice. Had a bunch of guys on bye. Wow, yeah, a bunch of guys on bye week. So, all right. You did enough. If any of the other moves that you could have made, Gesicki would have lost you the game, but Carr or Matt Stafford would have increased. Anyway, you did enough to win. All right. So, a pretty. I mean, look, I don't think either of you are happy with the team's performance. Vince, at least you're happy with the outcome, right? All right. That's going to wrap it up for the reviews that we've got. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look at the alternative scoring. I know most of you guys will probably stop the video right now, but if you're just curious about the alternate scoring, I'm going to pull that up and we can take a look at that, okay? All right. So for most of you guys that are leaving, good luck this week going into week 9. I know plenty of moves were already made, and man, oh man, they're going to make some differences. So we'll see how all that pans out. I will see you guys next week. For those of you sticking around, here we go. Okay. Here is the alternative scoring as of week 8. So remember, this scoring system is based strictly on points scored and week-to-week matchups. head-to-head matchups, right? So each week you can score 2 points. You can get 2 wins, 2 losses, or go win and loss, right? So that's why the win-loss column adds up to 16, because there's 2 available. So it's depending on your heads-up matchup. If you win that, you get a W. If you lose it, you get a loss. And if your team score was higher than the weekly average, you get another W. If it was below, you get a loss. So going through week 8, we can see here, if it's bolded, that is a win for your matchup. And if it's green, you beat the weekly average. The weekly average is posted at the bottom of each of the week columns there. So this is why I talk about the weekly averages. It's because I keep track of this stuff. So just taking a look at this stuff, it's pretty interesting, pretty fun, and of course tie breaks or record. The tie breaks aren't based on who you beat, right? No crazy algorithm. It's have you scored the more total points. So if you have the same record as somebody, the tie break is which team scored the most points overall throughout the season. So, and that's actually over. It's not going to let me do it, is it? There we go. There it is. Look at that. There. Oh, that was sloppy. Unprofessional. All right. Now, I'm going to move this over just there we go. There we go. That's better. All right. So if you look at the overall standings right here down at the bottom, this is where things get a little interesting, I think. So it's not, again, this isn't one of those situations where we've got a drastic difference from the NFL.com scoring. Dan, John, and Vince are still top 3, but the order is a little bit different, right? Dan's on top because he's scored more points overall, but all 3 teams are 11-5. Then you've got Matt, who's 10-6. And then those middle of the road groups, 9-7, we've got me, John, and Steve. Followed up with the 8-8 teams, who are Scott, Kurt, and Josh. And then we've got Black Swan Event, who is 7-9, because he's had a lot of those high scoring weeks where he was beat out by, one of maybe 2 or 3 teams that would have beat him that week, right? So he's 7-9, and then we've got 8-Bit Defenders and Banana Slug. So Adam and Jeff round out the bottom of the pile there. It's fun. I enjoy this. Again, I know it doesn't mean anything. It's not like if you win this alternate reality of scoring that you get any more money. Anyways. All right, guys. That's going to do it for me this week. Again, stay safe out there. Looking forward to week 9. Hey, going forward from there. We're in the final stretch. We're in the back half, well into the back half. Final stretch of our 13-week season. So, as always, hey, make your moves. Good luck. And I'll see you guys out there.